Yeah, well, and that's what I love so much about people who go through coding schools, especially Learn, is that they do have all of those diverse experiences to bring to the table that are sorely needed in the tech industry. So I think that that's great.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to touch on today, because you've been such an advocate for coding boot camps and these alternative ways to learn programming, especially as somebody who came from such a traditional background. That it's nice to kind of see it, like you can see it almost from both sides of it, like working with people that have gone through the boot camp and then also your own experience getting into the industry. Yeah,
well, I will say that when I was working at all these different companies that I did throughout my career, I noticed that when these boot camps started to rise up, there was this strong bias against boot camps. It was like, no, you have to, be a real computer science, graduate or whatever, which again is just meaningless. But there was this sort of elitism, I think, about something about that. And once I saw it for what it was, I was just like, this is doing is keeping us from hiring people who would add a lot of value to our companies, and there's really no reason for it. And so I figured, since I had gone through the traditional background, I was like, it's on me, I think, partly to change this. And so, plus, people who go through coding boot camps, I've said this many times, that they have more practical skills than I had coming out of a computer science degree, absolutely. Because you're using real world skills and you're doing them in a way that people are going to use on the job, versus computer science program, which is much more about the theory. It's much more abstract. You do some projects, but it's definitely not team oriented at all. There may be some group projects, but it's mostly, you're getting grades. And so it's much more about your own individual performance. Boot camps are, more collaborative generally, you're working with other people. Using skills that are actually being used to make products right now. So I think it's a much more efficient way to get people in a place where they can contribute.
Right. And we like to see that it will introduce people into an industry that has lots of opportunity, and that once you go through boot camp, there's been a lot of our students that then decide they want to go get a CS degree because theory, because the practice is interesting to them, and that they want to get to a different level.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But that the boot camps do exactly what you say. It is job training. It's getting people into all of these jobs out there, because there's a lot of them. And most of the time, especially for smaller companies, don't have the resources to teach those day-to-day operations and get people onboarded. And so the boot camps are trying to lessen that for companies also.
Yeah. So it's a great service, seriously. So thank you for doing it.
Well, thank you for supporting it and supporting our students.